The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Hey, welcome back. My in-studio guest, of course, Jess Torres, the chairman of the Republican Party, and we're talking about the commemoration of the 100th birthday of former President Ronald Reagan. Jess?
Well, again, Senator, thank you so much. All 50 states, as I mentioned earlier, we've been asked as party chairman of all the various entities throughout the country, including, our brothers and sisters up in Saipan. And we're doing this because he's one of the quote-unquote greater presidents that the country ever has.
The Gipper.
Yeah, the Gipper. He's during his movie days. And realizing that a lot of our people have since relocated to the state of California, at least on a personal basis, I have a sense of connection with, obviously, number one, with the states, because families from first cousin to brothers and sisters are now resident of the state of California. And it was the state of California that the late President Reagan was a two-term governor. So that in itself was an accomplishment in itself. Earlier, before President Reagan became governor, the whole state of California used to be Democrat. You had Governor Brown.
Yes.
So,
as a matter of fact, I was living there when Governor Brown's father, and now Jerry Brown was former governor.
Now the son, and he happens to be Democrat. So maybe in some future date, when we have some kind of a Republican, a Western meeting with the Republican state chairman and party official, maybe we'll whisper something to our colleagues from California that I think the time has come to allow that state to be led by people, the quality of the late President Ronald Reagan, because he turned that state around, And I remember reading in some of the other periodicals that the state of California in and of itself, economically speaking, at one time in their past, was the sixth most richest entity, far more economically viable than, say, some of the independent nations on Europe and even South America. But I don't know whether that's true right now, because the son of the late Governor Jerry Brown was a Democrat. He led the state as a governor, and now in January, the former state attorney general, which is Mr. Jerry Brown, is now the governor of the state of California.
And former governor as well.
And former governor also. So, they're good people, but, the only disadvantage they have is that they belong to the other parties. So it might be more advantageous to kind of, adopt some of the philosophies of the Republican Party,
There we go. And going back to the Republican Party and the Republican philosophies and Ronald Reagan, we're talking about, again, Ronald Reagan, very, very big in military defense. The Star Wars program basically was an inception of Ronald Reagan, although we're seeing now that again, I guess we're not the space shuttle mission. I guess I think we're going to be making the last flight here real soon, and so I don't know what's going to happen to the NASA program now, and we really should be pursuing that. Obama being a very smart president, I don't know why he would try to scrap again exploring other universes, right? But anyway, that being said, the fact that Ronald Reagan was very big on military defense, how does his philosophy now and our celebration thereof of commemorating his 100th birthday will help us out again with our plight in this military buildup, our war reparations, our compact impact reimbursements with your core partners, basically Republican National Party chairs. How have you related, again, our requests to them to be able to fight for that cause, to give us, again, the ideals of what Reagan stood for?
Well, very interesting question, and I'm glad you brought that up so we can discuss it. From a Republican standpoint, the Republican Party has always been strong on national defense. Us here in Guam, the highest industry obviously is with the military, and everybody from Jigo all the way down to Malesso are fully aware that within the next X number of years, the reshaping and the landscape of our island is going to change tremendously. And part of that is because of the relocation of the 8,000 plus Marines from Okinawa to here. People like Ronald Reagan, who are very close to the military, Guam being a very military-oriented island, you know, you can count from Jigo military families, both, you know, all 5 branches of government, all the way down to Malesso. So in that sense, you know, the closeness of Ronald Reagan to the military, our island being part and parcel to the national defense of our country, which is part of the military posture, you know, would allow us to be the recipients, and we're beginning to see that right now, because, you know, we don't have, other than the tourism and the military, we really don't have any source of industry here. And, you know, once we get that going, once the economy starts sprucing up the way it should be because of the new revenue that would be brought in as a consequence of various military activities and residual other activities that prompts up from servicing the military, I think the economy of the island would grow at a faster pace, and it's going to be good because we have young people graduating yearly from our schools. We have people coming back from Hawaii, from the West Coast, from other places, and they want to be part and parcel to the military buildup that is now ongoing. The beginning of the military footprint has already started. And the nice thing about this, and obviously my opinion would be very biased, and some people that is listening to your program may not necessarily agree with me, but I mean, you know, under the leadership of Governor Calvo,